Welcome to my channel, English Audiobooks. Today, you're not just watching a video, you're starting a quiet revolution inside yourself. Do you feel stuck? You want to speak English, but the words don't come. You try to understand, but everything feels too fast, too big, too hard. I know that feeling. I lived that feeling. But today, I will show you what changed everything for me. Not just tips, but the small, daily steps that made English part of my life. This video is not theory. It's my real story. So stay with me. Each chapter is a moment, a turning point, a new key that helped me improve my English step by step, sentence by sentence. Comment below. Have you ever felt scared to speak English? Let's talk about it. Chapter 1. The day I wanted to give up. I remember sitting at my desk, holding my English notebook in my hands. The pages were full of words I didn't understand. My eyes moved across the lines, but the meaning didn't come. Each word looked like a mountain. Strange, heavy, far from my world. My classmates were reading easily. Some were even smiling as they spoke English. But I felt small. I felt stuck. I looked at the book again, and for the first time I thought, maybe I can't do this. Maybe English is not for me. That day, my heart was heavy. My teacher asked me to read a sentence, just one short line, but I froze. My mouth was dry. I wanted to say it. I really did, but no sound came out. Everyone was waiting. I looked down. The letters moved like shadows. The sentence that others read in 1 second, I could not read in 1 minute. I felt like I was behind everyone. And not just in English in life. I wanted to stand up and leave. I wanted to throw the book away. I wanted to disappear. When the class ended, I walked home slowly. I didn't look at anyone. I didn't want to talk. I reached my room, closed the door, and sat on the floor. The book was still in my bag. I took it out and looked at it again. It was just paper and ink, but it felt like a wall I could never climb. I opened it anyway. I stared at the first word. It was simple, apple. But even that word felt hard. I tried to say it. My voice cracked. I felt tears in my eyes. I whispered to myself, why is it so hard for me? I know many of you have felt this too. You see others learning fast. You see videos online of people speaking beautiful English. You hear your friends using perfect sentences. And you think, what's wrong with me? You try, but your mouth doesn't move like theirs. You understand a little, but forget it the next day. You feel like giving up. Like maybe English is for smart people, confident people, not for someone like you. But let me tell you something from the deepest part of my heart. That moment when you feel like giving up, that is the moment just before everything changes. That is the moment when your story begins. That day, as I sat with that book, I almost gave up. Almost. But then something small, something soft, something brave inside me said, try one more time, just one more time. And I did. I turned to a blank page. I wrote the word apple in big letters. Then I drew a small picture of an apple next to it. I said it out loud, not perfectly, but clearly, apple. I touched my mouth as I said it. I said it again, apple. And for the first time, it felt like the word belonged to me. Not the dictionary, not the teacher, not the exam, me. That one small word gave me a little hope, a little light. It didn't fix everything, but it opened the door. From that moment, I decided I would not give up. Even if I was slow, even if I made mistakes, even if I felt behind, I would take one step, then another, then another. I wouldn't try to be perfect. I would try to be consistent. I would build my English one word, one day, one effort at a time. So if you were watching this and you've ever had a day where you wanted to give up, I want you to remember this. You are not alone. I have been there. So many learners have been there. The smartest English speaker you see today, they once struggled too, but they didn't stop, and you must not stop. This is your journey, and your journey is not over. It is just beginning. From that day, I started to learn differently, not just from books, but from life, not with pressure, but with love. Not all at once, but one small word at a time. And that's what I want to show you in this video. You don't need to be perfect. You need to begin. That's how I improved my English, and that's how you will too. Are you ready to take your first small step today? Chapter 2. One word at a time, my first steps. After that hard day, after that little voice told me to try one more time, I made a promise to myself. I would not run away from English anymore. I would not let fear stop me. I did not know how to learn fast. I did not have a plan, but I had one thing, the will to begin, and that was enough. I didn't aim for perfect grammar. I didn't try to speak like a native. I just picked one word, one simple word, and that was the beginning of everything. The first word I chose was book. It was on my desk. I saw it every day. I pointed at it and said, book. Again, book. I touched the book and said the word again. I felt strange at first. It was just one word, just a sound, but slowly it began to feel real. I wasn't just memorizing it, I was owning it. I said book in the morning. I said it when I picked it up. I said it before I went to sleep. I used it again and again until it became part of me. Then I added another word, pen. I held the pen in my hand and said the word. I wrote the word down using the pen. Pen. One object, one word, one action. This is how my learning began, not in a classroom, not from a big textbook, but from the world around me. I didn't need hundreds of words. I needed 5 words. I could touch, say, feel, and remember, and I picked them carefully. Book, pen, table, chair, door. These were my first 5 words. I used them every day. I made flashcards with pictures. I stuck them on my wall. I saw them every morning when I woke up. I read them out loud. Chair, table, door. These were not just words anymore. They were my friends. They were small pieces of English I could hold in my hands. And they gave me strength. They gave me confidence. Because now, I wasn't saying, I don't know English. I was saying, I know 5 words. Some people laugh at this. Only 5 words, they say. But I say, yes, 5 real words. 5 words I can use, speak, feel, and never forget. That is the power of starting small. When you try to learn 50 words at once, your mind becomes tired. You forget most of them. You feel lost. But when you take one word, just one, and live with it, you remember it forever. You don't just learn it, you become it. After that, I started to play a little game with myself. I would walk around the house and name things in English. I looked at the wall, wall. I looked at the floor, floor. I looked at the window, window. Sometimes I didn't know the English word, so I would search it. I would write it down. I would say it 3 times. I made a personal English world in my room. Every object had a name. Every name had a sound. Every sound became a sentence in my future. And this is what I want to share with you today. Your home is your classroom. Your objects are your teachers. Your words are already around you. You don't need to wait for a big course or a special book. You can start now. Look at your cup. What is the English word? Say it. Look at your door. Say it. Touch it. Feel it. Speak it. You are learning. And learning doesn't always look like studying. Sometimes it looks like whispering door 5 times with love. Do this every day. Add one new word. Use it. Touch it. Say it. Draw it. Write it. You will build your English slowly but strongly. One word is not small. One word is powerful. One word can change your confidence. One word can open your mouth. One word can start a sentence. That's how I improved. Not with 100 words at once, but with one word, one step, one moment of courage. So, if you are feeling like you don't know enough words, don't worry. You don't need many to start. You just need one today. Say it, love it, use it, and tomorrow, choose another. English is not about speed. It's about connection. Connection to the word, to your world, to yourself. Now I want you to look around right now. Choose one object, just one. Say the English word for it, out loud, 3 times. That is your first step today. And trust me, it's not small. It's powerful. Because one day, you will look back and say, that one word, that's where it all began. Chapter 3. My first English sentence, and how it changed me. After learning my first few words, I felt something new. I could name things. I could point to a chair and say, chair. I could look at the window and say, window. It was a small beginning, but it gave me strength. Still, I knew I needed to move forward. I didn't just want to say single words. I wanted to make a full sentence, a sentence that I could use, a sentence that felt like mine. That dream stayed in my heart for days. And then one day, it happened. It was a quiet evening. I was alone in my room. I picked up my pen and looked at my notebook. I took a deep breath. I wrote, "This is a book." 4 words. That's it. Simple, clear, real. I looked at it again. This is a book. I whispered it. I spoke it louder. I read it again and again. For the first time, I was not just saying English. I was making English. I had made a full sentence. It felt like a miracle. I smiled. I felt proud. It was such a small sentence, but it was mine. I didn't copy it from a textbook. I didn't memorize it for a test. I created it from the words I had learned, with my own mind, from my own heart, and that changed something inside me. Suddenly, English wasn't just in the classroom. It was in my mouth. It was in my mind. It was alive. I wrote more sentences, slowly, carefully. This is a pen. I have a chair. That is my bag. Each sentence was like a little brick. One by one, I was building something, my English home. I didn't care if the sentences were short. I didn't care if they were simple. I only cared that they were real. I could use them. I could say them. I could feel them. But I was still scared to speak out loud. So I practiced in front of the mirror. I looked into my own eyes and said the sentences. My name is Adam. This is my room. I like English. At first I felt shy. I thought, this is silly. I'm talking to myself. But after a few days, it didn't feel silly. It felt powerful. I was hearing my own voice speak English. And that voice was getting stronger every day. Speaking sentences changed how I saw myself. Before, I felt like someone who couldn't speak English. I always stayed quiet. I always waited for others to talk. But now, I had my own voice. A small voice. A soft voice. But it was mine. And every sentence I spoke made that voice louder, braver, and more confident. I also started using these sentences during my day. When I woke up, I said, "Good morning." When I ate, I said, "This is my food." When I went outside, I said, "It's sunny today." I talked to myself. Not because I was crazy, but because I was learning. I was building my English one sentence at a time, using the life I was already living. And guess what? After a few weeks, I didn't have to think so much. The sentences started coming naturally. I saw a book. This is my book. I saw a dog. The dog is running. My brain was starting to think in English. Not all the time, not perfectly, but a little bit. And that little bit was everything. You don't need to wait for big grammar lessons. You don't need a fancy school. You don't need to know everything. You just need to make one sentence. Just one. Today. With the words you already know. Try it right now. What do you see around you? Can you say it in a sentence? Try, "I see a table," or "This is my phone." Say it. Feel it. Believe in it. That first sentence I made, "This is a book," changed my life. It was the key that opened the next door. It made me feel like I was not just a student. I was a speaker. A beginner, yes, but still a speaker. And that made me want to learn more, speak more, practice more. So now I ask you, what will your first sentence be? Say it. Write it. Repeat it. Make it yours. That sentence may look small, but it could be the start of your biggest change. Chapter 4. Listening Without Pressure. The Secret of English Ears. After I started making my own sentences, something strange happened. I was speaking more, but I still felt stuck when I listened to others. When people spoke fast, I could only catch a few words. I would hear a sentence like, "How was your weekend?" And in my mind, I would hear just, "How? Weekend?" The middle part disappeared. It was like trying to hear a song underwater. And I thought, maybe my ears are not good at English. I almost gave up on listening. But then something changed. One evening, I was tired. I didn't feel like studying. I just wanted to relax. So I put on a slow English story video, not to learn, but just to enjoy. I closed my eyes and listened. I didn't try hard to understand. I didn't pause or repeat. I just let the words come like waves. Some I understood, some I didn't. But I didn't stress. And for the first time, listening felt easy, peaceful, like music. That was the moment I discovered something powerful. You don't always have to understand everything. You just have to listen with a soft mind, not a tight one. Listening is not a test. It's a feeling, a rhythm, a habit. I stopped forcing myself to understand every single word. I let go of the pressure, and slowly my ears started to open. My brain began to recognize sounds. I could hear full phrases. I knew what was coming next. I wasn't translating anymore. I was feeling the English. From that day, I made listening a part of my daily life. But I listened in a different way. I didn't watch complicated videos. I didn't use hard news channels. I chose easy English content. Stories for beginners, slow-spoken conversations, graded readers, English cartoons. And I listened not to study, but to live with the language, like background music in a quiet room. No pressure, just peace. In the morning, I would play a short English podcast while brushing my teeth. During lunch, I'd listen to a slow English story. Before sleep, I'd put on a video with soft English. I didn't try to write anything down. I didn't pause or rewind. I just listened. And after some time, I noticed something beautiful. I was starting to understand more. Without trying too hard, without studying like before, my ears were learning quietly, naturally. Sometimes I listened while doing other things, walking, cooking, even washing dishes. My hands were busy, but my ears were learning. And because there was no pressure, I didn't feel tired. I felt excited. I started to enjoy English sounds, the way the words danced, the rise and fall of sentences. Even if I didn't understand everything, I kept listening. And that made all the difference. One day, a friend said something in English, and I understood it completely. Not because I studied that sentence, but because I had heard it many times. It was in one of the stories I listened to last week. My brain had remembered it. My ears had saved it. That's when I realized listening is the secret key that opens the door to fluency. Not listening with stress, but listening with love, with patience, with time. So many learners feel bad when they don't understand fast English. They feel broken. But you are not broken. You are just building your English ears. And ears take time. Just like babies, they listen for many months before they speak. They don't understand everything at once, but they are learning. Their brain is making connections. And you can do the same. If you are watching this video now and thinking, but I don't understand much, don't worry. You're already improving. Just by listening. You don't have to catch every word. You don't have to translate in your head. Just keep listening, again and again, to easy English, to slow English, to friendly English. Let it become your background, your habit, your environment. This is why I believe every beginner should start with listening, not grammar. Listen first. Feel the language. Love the sound. And one day, the meaning will come. Naturally, softly. Like sunlight entering a dark room. Slowly, but surely. So tonight, before you sleep, play a simple English story. Close your eyes. Don't force yourself to understand. Just listen. Breathe. Relax. That's how English enters not just your ears, but your life. Chapter 5. Talking to myself, my secret speaking partner. After I started listening to English every day, something strange happened again. I began to hear English not just in videos, but in my mind. When I saw a cup, I didn't think piala anymore. I thought, cup. When I walked outside, I looked at the sky and heard the words, "It's sunny today." These were not big changes, but I noticed them. My brain was slowly starting to think in English, but there was still one problem. I had no one to practice with, no partner, no friend. I was alone. For a long time, I believed I couldn't speak without someone to talk to. I thought speaking practice only happened in a classroom, or with a teacher, or on a video call. But that wasn't my situation. I was shy. I was nervous. And honestly, I didn't feel ready to speak with other people yet. But deep inside, I wanted to speak. I wanted to open my mouth and let the English words come out. I didn't care if they were small. I just wanted to speak. So one day, I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, "Hello?" It felt weird. My own reflection stared back at me. I said again, "My name is Adam." My voice was quiet, but it was real. I spoke again. "This is my room. I am learning English. I like tea." Simple sentences, but they were mine. I was not waiting for a partner. I was speaking. I had found my first speaking partner myself. That day, something opened inside me. I realized I could practice anytime, anywhere. I didn't need permission. I didn't need a perfect sentence. I only needed my own voice. I began to talk to myself about everything. I am brushing my teeth. Now I'm going to the kitchen. This is my favorite cup. I walked around my house, like it was my English classroom. I pointed to things and named them. I explained my actions out loud. I was not just thinking English, I was living it. At first, it felt strange, but slowly, it became normal. It became fun. I was free. I could make mistakes. I could repeat the same sentence 20 times. I could say it slowly, then fast. I could try again and again. No one was judging me. No one was laughing. It was just me and my language. And in that quiet practice, my confidence grew. One day, I said to myself, let's go outside and talk about what I see. And I did. I walked slowly and said things like, I see a man. The road is busy. That boy is eating ice cream. I wasn't talking to anyone, just to myself, but I was describing real life in English. My world became my classroom. My voice became my tool, and my mistakes became my teachers. Some people say talking to yourself is strange, but for me, it was smart. It helped me build fluency when I had no partner. It helped me speak more when I was afraid to speak with others. It helped me feel safe, free, and strong. I didn't have to wait for the perfect moment or perfect words. I just had to speak. And the more I spoke to myself, the more natural it became. I also began to pretend I was in real conversations. I would ask myself questions and answer them. What is your name? My name is Adam. How are you today? I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. What did you eat? I ate rice and vegetables. These were simple, daily questions. But I was building my speaking muscle. I was practicing real English for my own life. And something beautiful happened. When I finally spoke to other people in class, in public, online, I was ready. I wasn't perfect, but I had practiced these words before. I had said them to myself many times. My mouth knew them. My mind trusted them. I felt less afraid. I felt more like a real English speaker. So if you feel alone, if you have no one to speak with, don't wait. Your voice is enough. Your mirror is enough. Your room is enough. Start talking to yourself today. Describe what you're doing. Talk about your day. Ask yourself questions. Answer them. Be silly. Be brave. Be loud. Be soft. But just speak. You don't need to be perfect to start. You only need to start to become better. Chapter 6. Mistakes made me stronger, not weaker. I was speaking to myself every day. I was making sentences, describing my life, asking questions, and answering them. I felt good. I felt like I was moving forward. But then, it happened. The moment I feared the most, I tried to speak English with another person, and I made a mistake. A big one. I wanted to say, I'm very happy, but instead I said, I happy very. The other person smiled kindly, but I felt like running away. My face became red. My heart dropped. I thought, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not good enough. That night, I sat alone and remembered every mistake I had made that day. The wrong word, the strange grammar, the missing article. My mind kept repeating them like a broken song. I wanted to delete the whole day. But then I remembered something. I had spoken. I had tried. I had taken the step that many people never take. I had used my voice. That was not failure. That was bravery. I realized something powerful that night. Mistakes are not the enemy. They are the beginning of fluency. Every person who speaks English well today has made thousands of mistakes. They just didn't stop. They didn't give up. They listened, learned, and kept going. I had to do the same. So I picked up my notebook and wrote, I happy very, and next to it, I'm very happy. I smiled. One mistake had just taught me the correct sentence. That was a gift. From then on, I started keeping a mistake journal. Every time I said something wrong or heard something I didn't understand, I wrote it down. Then, I wrote the correct version next to it. Slowly, this journal became my best teacher. Not a grammar book, not a course, just my real mistakes and my real progress. And guess what? I began to remember more. I made the same mistake fewer times because I was learning from my real life. I also changed the way I thought about mistakes. Before, I felt embarrassed, but now I felt excited. When I made a mistake, I knew something important. I was learning. If I was always perfect, it meant I wasn't trying anything new. But when I made mistakes, it meant I was pushing my limits, stepping outside my comfort zone. It meant I was growing. Some days were still hard. I said things wrong in front of others. Sometimes they corrected me. Sometimes they didn't understand me. But instead of running away, I stayed. I repeated the sentence. I tried again and again. And every time I did that, my confidence grew. Not because I was perfect, but because I was not afraid anymore. There's a sentence I always tell myself. Mistakes are the price of progress. If you want to speak English, you will make mistakes. That is not a problem. That is the path. Even native speakers make mistakes in their own language. The difference is they don't stop speaking, and neither should you. So now, I want to ask you, what was your last English mistake? Think about it, write it down, learn from it, and then say it again better. That is how real learning happens. Not from being perfect, but from being honest, brave, and consistent. I remember one day I said, "He go to school every day." My friend laughed kindly and said, "You mean he goes to school?" I laughed too. Then I said it again. He goes to school. That moment could have made me stop, but instead, it made me stronger. Because now, I never forget with he, we add s. Mistakes are not monsters. They are mirrors. They show us where we are, and they help us see where we can go. If you speak with fear, you stay small. But if you speak with courage, even when you make mistakes, you grow big. Your English grows with you. So don't hide from your mistakes. Welcome them. Learn from them. Laugh at them if you need to, but never stop because of them. You are not weak when you make mistakes. You are strong because you are trying. And that makes all the difference. Chapter 7. My Daily English Life. How I Keep Improving. By now, English was no longer just a subject in school for me. It had become something bigger, something deeper, something personal. It was no longer just something I studied. It became a part of my life. Every little thing I did, every small routine, started to include English. And this is how I improved every single day, not through magic, but through daily habits that anyone can follow. I started my mornings with English, not with grammar books or big words, just a simple sentence. I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "Good morning. Today is a new day." I didn't care if it was the same sentence every day. I said it with love, with feeling, with belief. Then I brushed my teeth and described what I was doing in English. I am brushing my teeth. I am washing my face. This was real. It was my routine, but in English. During breakfast, I listened to a slow English video, a story, a conversation, a small podcast. I didn't understand everything, and that was okay. I was not studying. I was living with English. The sounds became familiar. The rhythm of English became part of my ears. Even 5 minutes of listening in the morning changed the way I felt the whole day. I felt connected. I felt ready. When I walked outside, I tried to name what I saw. That is a car. The man is walking fast. I hear a bird. I wasn't speaking out loud all the time. Sometimes I just said the words in my mind. But I was training my brain to think in English. The world around me was helping me learn. And the best part? It cost nothing. No teacher, no class, just my own eyes, ears, and thoughts. At home, I used English for fun. I watched cartoons and short stories. I played with subtitles. I repeated funny lines from characters. I laughed. I shadowed their voices. I pretended I was one of them. I wasn't trying to be serious. I was just enjoying English. And when you enjoy something, you remember it. I learned phrases I could never forget because they made me smile. I also started keeping an English diary. Each night, before sleeping, I wrote 2 or 3 simple sentences. Today was a good day. I ate rice for lunch. I felt tired, but happy. These were not perfect sentences, but they were real. They came from my life. And slowly, writing became easy. My spelling improved. My sentence structure improved. But most of all, my confidence improved. I also used my phone in English. I changed the language settings. Now, every time I opened an app, I saw English words. Call, message, settings. I didn't study them, I lived with them. I didn't memorize them, I used them. And that's the secret. When you make English part of your life, you don't forget it. Because it's not just in your book, it's in your hands, your eyes, your voice, your day. Some days I felt lazy. I didn't want to speak or write. And that's okay. I didn't punish myself. I just did one small thing, one sentence, one word, one listen, one note in my diary. Learning a language is not about doing everything every day. It's about doing something every day. Even if it's small, even if it's quiet. Now, English is my friend. It lives with me. It walks with me. It eats with me. It helps me connect with people, stories, dreams, and parts of the world I never knew. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes, but I keep going because I know how far I've come, and I know how far I can still go. And you can too. If you build your day around small English moments just like I did, you will grow. You will feel it. You will see it. And one day, someone will ask you, "How did you become so fluent?" And you will smile and say, "I practiced every day with my mirror, with my spoon, with my voice, and with my heart." If this video gave you hope, made you feel stronger, or helped you understand that you are not alone on this journey, then please like this video, subscribe to English Audiobooks, and leave a comment telling me what small thing you will do in English today. Don't wait for the perfect lesson. Don't wait for the perfect time. Your time is now. Your sentence is ready. Your voice is waiting. English Audiobooks. It's already inside you. Let's grow it together.